Industry Stories. What up, B.Woods? Hanging out with you. Hope you're enjoying your night, your day, whenever you're listening to this. And Industry Stories, we tell the inside scoop on what pops off in this thing we call the entertainment business. And of course, it's personalized stories, folks that's been in the business of my stories and what it takes to really get it popping in this thing we call entertainment. I think it's important just because it feels like everybody is in a space to where at some level, especially with Instagram, everybody's becoming their own brand. They're becoming their own entity. And I think when the process of becoming a brand, it's entertaining, right? In order to keep people interested, you got to have some fucking entertaining ass content. And if you don't, people ain't going to listen. People's not going to watch, right? So even things that are deemed like educational, there still has to be a little bit of entertainment so that people can kind of get like kind of sucked into what you're trying to talk about, and hopefully they learn a little something. In the process of doing that, there's other folks that clearly want to do things that where they trying to get on TV, film, radio, and that process is slightly different than just social media. I think they're two dynamic different things, and you're gonna get people that are gonna support you, and you're gonna get these things called the haters too. I think right now in this climate, everybody, I know you probably watch or listen to a whole bunch of motivational bullshit that's out there. I think we're bombarded by inspirational shit, quite honestly. Like, everybody's a motivational speaker. Everybody's, motherfuckers be out here in thongs, popping ass, and at the same time trying to give you a motivational speech about how to live your life. And so I think it's great. And I think that there's a lot of cliches that are out here in terms of just what it takes to be successful, especially in the game of entertainment. And I think that a lot of it is untrue. I think a lot of the cliches, the whole no sleep, motherfucker, get your sleep. You need sleep. Successful people only sleep 2 minutes a night. Then they wake up. Look at science. You need sleep. Your body works better when it sleeps, right? And then the whole thing about the idea of haters, right? And so, have I been hated on in my long-term run in this thing we call entertainment? Yeah, I think so. I've been fired a couple times because people were, I guess, jealous and envious and strategically position themselves. Like the first time that the last station I got let go from, I thought it was a mistake that I made, and it got blown up to something to where it was deemed as if it was malicious, but it came from somebody. I don't want to mention names because this motherfucker, he doing his thing right now, but I'm not gonna mention names because he got a show. I'm not gonna say where, but but yeah, he kind of spoke out of turn. He said something he wasn't supposed to say in a conversation that he really didn't have to say it. That would have made a difference. Me working where I was working at the time, and and it was on some fuck nigga shit. But it's all good. But the point being is just that, yeah, you do find yourself with people that in an industry where it's all about you, and people try to get on. I think that there are haters, but at the same token, I think that the energy right now, since everybody is doing a lot of like independent branding and entrepreneurship and all that, I really think that it's a very supportive energy right now. I really do think so. I think that the energy is supportive. On average, most people out there, I think, want to see you win. They do. A lot of people, I think people feel inspired by people actually winning. And I think it's shifted because people don't want to work at these regular 9-to-5 jobs anymore. And anytime that you see a victory or you see a win, it's encouraging. And I think the new hater right now is silence, right? When your phone stop ringing or people don't really get at you the same way anymore, that's kind of like the new hater. But I think for the most part, Most people, they just really just don't understand your grind, or they don't really understand your hustle. And so a lot of it has to do with the fact that once people actually understand what you're attempting to do and what you're trying to do, then I think they become more supportive. I think, like, even when I got started in radio, my mom, she's from Belize. Our family doesn't really have, we don't have a entertainment based background. Grew up out here in LA, born and raised out here in LA. And so my exposure to entertainment was essentially like, TV by watching it, films by watching it, and radio by listening to it. And that's how I got inspired by all my shit. So when I actually, told my mom that I wanted to get into the entertainment business, not just entertainment, but radio, she was like, "Oh, okay, that's great. That's great. Keep on pursuing that, and it was never unsupportive at all. It was just always just continue to do it." But I don't really think she had like a real understanding for what the magnitude of what I was attempting to do, like, get on the radio that she listens to every day, and actually have a voice, get paid, and come back home with some money in my pocket. And so it was always supportive, and there was always love there. But the understanding is really what the key component is. Like, what exactly are you doing? Because it's hard for people to kind of, most people, they live in worlds that's drastically different from what people are trying to do in entertainment. So you got to give people the benefit of the doubt of what they day-to-day grind is. And so it wasn't until I actually got on the air and my mom heard my voice on the radio, she's like, "Holy shit! Like, this, he did it. He actually did it." And then not only did the support was always there, but more so than anything too, it's the understanding that was there. It's like, oh, I understand now, the piece, all of what he was doing and where he was going, and these events, it's all kind of making sense now. And for this final thing that kind of came from it. So, a lot of people, like, don't take people's misunderstanding of what your grind is as hate, because a lot of times people just don't understand what you're attempting to do. And a lot of times what you're attempting to do is huge. And especially if you don't have a focus. If you don't have a focus, then people tend to just kind of like dismiss what you're doing too. So I think it's always important just to kind of know concisely where you're going in order for you to understand, like, hey, this is the direction that I'm going. And people don't necessarily have to support it, but at the end of the day, the more that people can kind of articulate or have an understanding of what you're doing by not just you telling them, by whatever, social media or whatever, like, oh, you still working on this specific project that's doing this? Like, are you still doing that cartoon that's named S, this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and how's that coming? People have something that they can actually grab onto. And so they're going to grab onto it because they can tangibly kind of understand what it is that you're trying to do, as opposed to you just having an idea, and then somebody's like, "Oh yeah, I know you still kind of working on whatever," and then you over here like, "Damn, why are you hating?" It's not because this person's hating; they just don't know what the hell what it is that you don't know, and if you don't know, then other people don't know, and so y'all all confused. So at the end of the day, it's just about you being able to just have this concrete thing that you're approaching, and then the more clear it is to you, the more it is clear to other people. And I think that, like, right now, it's just the energy is just different. I think people will support you, like, obviously, with social media or whatever, but I think that people get so pressed on the whole, like, people are gonna hate on you. I don't really feel that. Even like when I got let go and everything, like, my phone didn't ring, but niggas was really out here hating. You know what I mean? It was just like, okay, cool. It is what it is. I'm gonna do me. But it wasn't like cats out here really throwing rocks. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, but people want to, and then when you pick up the pieces and you start moving and you got other projects and things are happening, and then people kind of come in the fold. And I wouldn't even say just because they see you um, doing something, so they want to be a part of it. But people like to see movement. People like to see growth because it's inspiring for them also. So and in entertainment, now it's a space where collaboration is everything. Collaboration is key. So people want to see other people get hot because now, like, especially when it comes to like the podcast and music, different things like that, you can collaborate on projects. So, even a little step in that direction is motivation for other people to get involved. So I just think that it's just a mindset that most people have. I think that, the clicheisms of social media makes it seem like everybody's out here to get you, and that's not really the case. I think like once you actually kind of blow and you get to that next level, then motherfuckers throw shots. But even the shots that they throw comes from a space of just boredom, you know what I mean? Or everybody's out here trying to be a damn comedian. So even then, I mean, I think if I don't know, like most people I feel that are like mad successful, they actually they're for them they've clearly done something right, you know what I mean? And so and I think that their headspace is clearly in a different realm, especially if you're successful now. It takes a certain level of just independent thinking and an independent grind, so to speak. So not to say that you'll never be caught up in your emotions, but for the most part, I guess the whole purpose of this industry story, so to speak, is just that I think the climate is changing, and that the haters are not really out there as more as there. I think there's a lot more congratulators out there. There's a lot more congratulators out there. Like you can literally, go on somebody's IG and you say, hey, I'm working on a project, any fucking project. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, I'm out here making bird cages, and it's not gonna be a slew of hate like you bird caging making motherfucker, like nobody fucks with like the reality is most people are probably gonna be like, okay, like either what are you doing or like how I cop a bird cage. Like it's a little the energy's a little bit different. But if people know you for a specific brand, and if you doing something and you do something that's far left, and obviously people are gonna probably clown or whatever. But if you're coming from a space to where you're entering the marketplace, people don't really know your hustle, people don't know your grind, and you enter it with a genuine idea, thought process, or concept, for the most part people are going to be supportive. So that's really what it is, and I think that's dope, because back in the day it just really wasn't like that, because you had to get in on a corporate level just to get in the game. You had the haters were like the people that were they call them the gatekeepers, which was essentially like assistants, and assistants' jobs were their job was to tell no. You call a label, you call an agency, you call a radio station, and who's calling, and if you didn't have like Warner Brothers or Priority or behind your title, they like, nigga, you can get off this phone right now, and hopefully your phone call can be directed somewhere else. So you had to finagle your way in the business through like an internship or a relationship, and then you had to cultivate your relationships while you were actually within that building. And so, and a lot of the building and within the building, a lot of those relationships had to do a lot with how much ass you kissed. If you laughed at jokes, laughing at jokes in the business is a huge thing. You gotta laugh at people's jokes. Somebody tells a joke and that shit ain't funny, you better laugh if you want that promotion. And same thing with gender, right? So like with dudes, like with women, it's a little bit different. Women gotta come on there and get they sexy on. If you over there, looking like Morgan Freeman when you get into the office, you ain't going to get that promotion you looking for. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, a lot of it is just like, people that got swag or good looking people do have an advantage in the building, because you get the most, especially if you're a woman. That's just the reality of it. And if you're a sister, if you're a black woman, you got to work 15 times as harder, especially if you're out here in LA. Because LA, as a black woman, there's really there's zero sisters on the radio, period. So it's a different, the Latin market is what's kind of cultivated here. And so that's why, it's based upon what corporate thinks the demographic is. So they look at numbers, statistics, and all this other stuff, and that's who they feel is going to relate to the audience, and that's who they're going to hire and put on the air. And that's just, that's just the nature of the business. It's just everybody's out here trying to make paper. So so the game is a lot different now. It's just a lot. It's different, but it's dope in the sense that you can do your independent thing, and your independent thing can be more successful than what would be deemed as like working within a corporate situation. So it's one of those things where the industry is changing, and I think that it's the understanding. If you understand it from a positive standpoint, then you're gonna be successful. So industry stories, B.Woods, keep it locked right here. We got more for you. Holla back.